Hi Facebook. I hope all of my dear friends are doing well and keeping safe. Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Trish. I am really excited this week because I want to share with you some of the new laws that went into effect Wednesday, July 1, that were passed this year in the General Assembly. And so we've got some really exciting stuff going on here, and I'm really excited to share it with you. The first thing that I wanted to share was that Virginia was the 38th state to ratify the ERA. And they needed 38 states, and we were that state. And so you can be proud of Virginia for being the 38th state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. That was really huge, and I'm just glad that Virginia was a part of it. And the other thing are some gun laws that went into effect. So really, that's the part that I really wanted to share with you, because gun laws have been really hard and really difficult to get past the General Assembly, but we've gotten some done this year. And I want to start with Senate Bill 70, which establishes universal background checks. Senate Bill 240 establishes extreme risk protective orders, which allows authorities to take away a handgun from someone that they deem to be a threat or a risk to themselves or to others. That is really, really a good bill. And Senate Bill 69 reinstates the one handgun per month. So really, one handgun per month. So you can still get 12 a year, but one handgun per month is a lot better than getting as many as you wanted. So that was a good bill. I was really glad to see that. And then there's House Bill 9, which requires gun owners to report a lost or stolen gun within 48 hours or face a civil penalty. And then House Bill 1083, which toughens the penalty for leaving a loaded gun or firearm unprotected in a reckless manner that endangers a child. And I think most of you realize that we lose a lot of our babies and our children to reckless gun owners who leave them laying around, and the child gets it and shoots themselves or someone else. So I was really happy that we were able to get that bill passed finally. And Senate Bill 35, which was a big relief to me, because it allows localities to create laws or ordinances that would forbid firearms in municipal buildings or in council chambers. I mean, it just makes perfect sense, because for us, members of council, we are sitting there like sitting ducks, and anyone can come in with a firearm. And we're not talking about a handgun. I mean, you can get some serious artillery now. You can just buy it in any gun shop, AK-45s. And so for me, it created kind of a tense environment. It didn't happen often, but every now and then you would have somebody come in with a firearm. And that puts you in an uneasy spot. So I was really glad that happened, and I'm sure most of my colleagues on council are too. And Senate Bill 479, which bars people with protective orders against them from possessing a firearm, which requires them to turn it in to authorities within 24 hours. So these are all things that are going to help so much with our public safety. And then there's Lee Jackson Day that has been taken away as a state holiday. So for me personally, having Lee Jackson Day off of the books for a state holiday placed with Election Day. And then there are some LGBTQ protections. The Virginia Values Act, passed by lawmakers, which makes sexual orientation, gender identity, protected classes, which it becomes a discrimination when it comes to housing, employment, and public accommodation. So they did get some LGBTQ protections in this session as well. And the decriminalization of marijuana. So for small possession of marijuana, you will not get years in jail. You will receive a $25 civil penalty. So it helps keeping a lot of folks out of jail for simple marijuana possession, which we already have a lot of people already incarcerated for this reason. So this law, I think, will help reduce the number of incarcerations for just that. And of course, medical cannabis was signed into law this year with Senate Bill 1015. I think we all realize that there's been a lot of research done and a lot of things has happened with cannabis, and making it legal, I think, will help with a lot of medical conditions. I think a lot of people were excited to see that happen, and I hope those people suffering with certain medical conditions and cannabis has helped will be able to get that relief that they wanted legally. And then there is a cap on insulin. If you are diabetic and you have to pay for your insulin, you will not have to pay more than $50 per month. So for those with diabetes, this is really huge, and it took the General Assembly to do that, to give those people with diabetes that relief. So I was glad to see that. And one thing that we're all going to be excited about is no more photo IDs. Now I know that's going to be controversial for some folks. I mean, some people say, why not have ID? But you'd be surprised at the number of people who do not have ID for whatever reason. But you can still use your driver's license, your voter registration card. I think at one point you were able to use check stubs or light bills, things like that. But the main thing is that you don't have to have a photo ID. And the last and final thing, well, actually, before that, I want to mention that you will not have your driver's license suspended for fines. It just makes no sense to suspend someone's driver's license because they haven't paid a fine. If you suspend the driver's license, they certainly will not be able to pay the fine because they won't be able to go to work, they won't be able to drive. So that was a no-brainer as well. But the last thing that I'm really excited about is that there is going to be no excuse for absentee voting, which means you can request an absentee ballot without having an excuse. Remember, before you had to check one of 10 different reasons, but you don't have to do that anymore. And in this climate and during this pandemic, that is going to be essential. So I think that was awesome, and I'm really excited about that. So if you think that you will not be going to the polls, or you have an older person, or you know someone who you know for a fact that will not be going to the polls in November, go ahead and request that absentee ballot. You don't need an excuse. So I know today's talk was a little bit longer than usual, but I hope that you got some good information, and I appreciate you listening in. And I look forward to coming back again next week. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks, take care, and have a wonderful week and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.